Well, for you guys, it feels like it was just the other day this car was in here, but for me, it feels about 3 months ago this car was in here, because I made all those videos in the summer, and now it's fall. You can see Cassandra's race car sitting there, the one that's all wrecked. But there is no demolition derbies anymore. It's November, and I don't really know what 2020 is going to bring us, so I had this thing on Kijiji trying to sell it, and I was thinking about it, and then I thought to myself, you know what? I spent so much time looking for a project, something that was just going to keep me busy through the winter, and I've had it here the whole time, so why am I going to sell this thing? I've already started taking it apart underneath the hood, so I really want to turbo this thing. There's actually quite a bit of things that I really want to do this. I want to get rid of the distributor. I want to get coil packs, because coil packs look so much nicer than distributor. I want to get rid of the crappy crossover section. I want it to come forward. I want to add a giant turbo over here. A giant turbo. I want to get rid of all the ABS. I want to do a lot of cool things to this car, but honestly, I don't even know where to begin. So today what we're going to be doing, I'm going to take the motor out. I'm going to put it on the ground, and I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to try to come up with an idea. I'm going to try to do some reading on the internet and see if I can make this thing coil packs, number one. Number two, from that, try to make it turbo. From that, try to do more and more things with it. You know what I should have done? I'd like to figure out what the problem with this engine is before I take it out. So I might throw a couple of things back on and try to figure out what the engine code is actually for, and go from there. But I'm not too sure. You know what? Screw it. I'm not going to figure out what the engine code is. I'm going to take this one out. I'm going to put it on the ground. I know it's got an exhaust leak, so I know it's got that. I imagine there's some sensors that are messed up. I've taken some vacuum lines off it, so I imagine it's not too happy about that. And we're going to go from there. So, yeah, let's figure out what's wrong with this thing. So let's get this motor out, and I imagine the first thing that I'm going to want to do is get rid of all of this ABS. I'm sick and tired of it. I want it gone. Just going to run 2 lines to the back, 2 lines to the front. We're probably going to steal most of the parts out of a Toyota Camry and just kind of transfer them into this thing and get rid of all the ABS modules inside this car, and then maybe try to play with some more wiring, limit it down some more. I don't know if I'm going to stick with this motor or I'm going to LS it. I'm going to start looking forward and kind of seeing what I can do. So let's slowly start tearing this thing down, I guess. It'll keep me busy over the winter, that's for sure. Well, I've been having a problem with chipmunks around here. Taking pine cones and shoving them in vehicles. So it looks like I got to go buy a pellet gun here very shortly to take care of my chipmunk problem, squirrel problem. But on the underside here, we've got the transmission crossmember out, got the drive shaft undone. I can't get the aluminum crossmember off right now because it's pretty much just seized on there. Got the exhaust cut far enough back where I can reroute my turbo to it, hopefully when it's in there. Got the steering undone, the steering rack kind of dropped down a bit. I don't know if that's going to help a lot, but I think it's going to help a bit. We got the transmission selector undone, everything undone. Motor mounts undone. Yeah, we got pretty much everything undone underneath here. We're just going to bring it down now and then take a look at it from the top. Well, here we are from the top. I got the passenger side motor mount right off, but the driver one's kind of giving me a little bit of problem because of how much intake's there. I guess I could take off all the intake off this, but I'm not willing to do that right now. We got the AC disconnected, we got the power steering disconnected, we got the vacuum disconnected, throttle cables, we got the whole computer system disconnected. I think we're about ready to try to take this thing out. It's probably going to be a big nightmare. I think the proper way to do this is actually just drop the subframe and take everything out that way, but I don't really want to do that right now. I'm going to probably have to drop the subframe anyway, but I don't want to drop it right now. So yeah, let's try to pull this thing out and I'll let you guys know if I have any issues. I have a engine leveler to try to level it, and then I have these 2 little come-alongs to fine-tune and kind of get extra height when I need it and less height when I don't need it. So let's see how well this goes. Well, the motor's out. Went pretty good. Two things I forgot. One, the fuel line goes right there. I didn't even see it until I was halfway out. Two, there's a little ground wire right here. But once I got those two off, everything came out really easily until this cross member I couldn't get off underneath there caught on the air conditioning. So I kind of ripped the air conditioning. I got to kind of push it back and make it look pretty again. Now you guys can see what I'm talking about the ABS units. I want this gone, I want that gone, and I want that one gone. So there's quite a bit of brake line delete I have to do on this. One thing else I didn't really think about was the fuel tank is higher than the fuel spout for the motor, so the fuel did not stop coming out of there. I've got 3/4 of a tank of fuel in this thing, so it's going to drain for quite some time. How much fuel's in there now? Not a whole lot, but there's fuel everywhere. So we're going to clean up the fuel, and then we're going to come back and kind of blow this out with the air gun and kind of get an idea of what we're doing. The main thing I'm going to do right now is I'm going to start looking on the internet for companies to help me out, make this thing go. And I'm going to start tracing lines and see what goes where for brake lines here, because I do want to simplify this. I am tired of all this ABS units underneath this hood. I think it's way too much. 90s ABS was kind of not the very best of the ABS system. So we're going to go through and try to get rid of a whole bunch of units off of this. So give me a little bit. I'll be back here. I'm just going to drain a lot more gas out of this thing, and then I'll be right back. So I've gone through with a paint marker, and I've paint markered green from the master to the pump. One goes here, one goes there. Each wheel, so the two from the back and this one is blue, and they all go to this unit. So what I'm going to do, I kind of want to drain the master. That way I get all the brake fluid kind of off the floor maybe, and then I'm going to disconnect all the blue ones and all the green ones, and then take out everything else. I already removed this unit because one of the lines was a little bit confusing to me back here, and turns out it was just a super high pressure line that kind of exploded and went everywhere. You see the brake fluid all over the windshield? Yeah, that's gonna screw with the paint. Not too concerned, it needs body work anyway. But yeah, I cut that, and it was a grave mistake, so yay. But yeah, what we're going to be doing now is just disconnecting the brake lines that I want to keep, and then getting rid of this unit, that unit, and I've already got rid of that one. And before any of you guys say, oh, you should sell all those parts on eBay, they are going in the trash. So nobody needs ABS. Nobody. So let's start cracking these things apart. So we got all the brakes done. I did this last night. I haven't re-bled the system, but I did get all the brakes joined. Couldn't find 10 mil T-fittings anywhere. Couldn't order them, couldn't do nothing. So I had to switch those all to Imperial, which kind of sucks. But it works, just not overly happy about it. So what I'm probably going to be doing is from these old ABS pumps, going to be saving the joiners with the 10s and the 90s and the 90s, and kind of saving a whole bunch of these 10 mil fittings off of it, because apparently I can't buy 10 mil fittings anymore in my town, and I can't even order them. So I'll be saving as many of these as I can. Oh.